regularly scheduled board meeting. It is about 9:03 in the morning. My name is Roxana Gamusio. I am the Executive Director with the Cosmetology and Barber Examiners Board. As first order of business, I would like to take roll call vote to assure that we have quorum in order to proceed, and then I will turn it over to our chair, Ms. Becky Russell. Members, when I call your name, please unmute yourselves and then let me know you are here, and we will proceed. Perry Baldwin?
Present.
Thank you. Anita Charlton?
Present.
Thank you. Monica Lemons?
Present.
Thank you. Judy McAllister?
Present.
Thank you. David McElry?
Present.
Thank you. Marquise Martin? Thank you. Mr. Jeffrey Moran is not here with us today. Lane Petty is not here with us today. Ms. Lori Phelps is not here with us today. Becky Russell?
Present.
Thank you. Amy Tanksley. Ms. Tanksley will be joining us shortly, but she's not here as we start. And Tamika Turner?
Present.
Thank you. Members, that does give us quorum. We'll be able to proceed with the meeting. Ms. Russell, I'll turn it over to you, ma'am.
Welcome to everybody participating in person and online. We always like to acknowledge schools, so if we have any schools with us today, if you'll stand and let us know. All right. Skills Barber Academy is here with us today. Welcome. Are there any online? Oh, I'm sorry. All right, Hideout Academy, welcome. All right, welcome to all of our people that are participating online. And Roxana, we'll turn it over to you to get started.
Thank you, Ms. Russell. First item that I'd like to share with the board, our newest member, Hobby Wise, has turned in his resignation. So we do have a vacancy for a Barber board member. He's very sorry to have needed to do that, and so he won't be joining us today. And I told him that I would share, and we would all miss him being on the board. And then before we proceed, I want to let everyone know you've all gotten a chance to work with and know John Lillard. He's been working with me since 2013, and he has gotten a wonderful promotion, is moving within our division to something bigger and better in inspections. So we'll still have him participate with our inspections team, which is vital to everything we do. But I'm going to miss him. We're trying to wean off the things that we do. So I know you'll wish John a lot of success also. Our agenda was emailed to all the members prior to the meeting, as well as the redacted legal report. That would be the first order of business I'd like to take care of. If there are any changes to the agenda, please let me know. And otherwise, I will turn it over to you, Ms. Russell.
We'll need a motion to accept the
June meeting, yes.
sorry,
the agenda, I apologize, the agenda.
The June, this agenda.
This
Okay.
is for the agenda.
Okay, for the agenda, I'm sorry.
So moved.
We have a motion to accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. I messed you up. That's okay. That's on me. A quick note, for those that are participating virtually, any that we have here in person, we will make sure to stop at the end of the meeting during new board, new items to give anybody that has something to discuss about the agenda, anything else that comes up, they'll have an opportunity toward the end to participate. And we'll make sure we don't miss anybody. We're on to the minutes, Ms. Russell.
All right, we'll need a motion to accept the minutes from last meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now on your iPads, we will start with our school applications. Members, this time we had 13 different applications to include a barber and cosmetology, so it's still just, I thought last month we had a record and this one did top it. So you have before you, starting on page 3 of your iPads, the first school is Skills Barber Academy. This is a new barber school, and Mr. Jeremy Garrett is here. If you'll give me a minute, let me make sure I can get him on the podium and start it. Skills. The mic is red and then turn it off. Yes, give me just a second. Thank you. Thank you, members. So you've got before you the application for the school, the floor plan, the enrollment agreement catalog, and all the information was received timely. Ms. Russell, I will turn it over to you.
Welcome, Mr. Garrett. Would you like to tell us a bit about your school?
So the school is located in Portland, Tennessee. It's right on the border of Kentucky and Tennessee. I chose Portland, Tennessee because I'm a native of Gallatin, Tennessee, and I grew up in Franklin, Kentucky, which is Portland is right in the center. It started as a barber shop in 2016, and as I was going on with that, I just noticed that there were students that was coming in my barber shop and they didn't have the proper training. So I decided to go into instructing. It is the 2,400 square foot building. It's located on the main road, and it's a great location. It's open to the Highway 109, so it's a great location. Lots of traffic, and that's it.
Thank you so much. I'm going to start out with a couple of questions that I had. Your paperwork looked really good. So one of the things that I noticed is that the days and hours of operation, while they are within the enrollment agreement, they're kind of broken down into a theory area and like a hands-on skill area. You have them located later in your paperwork, so I was able to figure out what times that you were open. But I would like for you to move that maybe onto the front page. So your hours of operation, put that on the front page of your enrollment agreement. So it's a little more clear. Do you plan on having part-time students? Okay, no part-time. Let's see. The student signature line before payment. So the student needs to sign saying that they agree to the terms of the agreement prior to payment. So did you have that in there somewhere and we just overlooked it, or I just overlooked it?
You said they need to have a signature line prior to payment?
Yes. So where they sign, it's usually the student and the school representative sign. It just needs to have a statement in there that's saying that they sign prior to payment of any tuition or fees.
I believe that's on page 13 on the
Okay.
iPads. Thank you.
I just looked over it then. Board members, just, and this has nothing to do with us, something that I thought you might want to look at. You've got a couple of grammatical errors in your contingency plan. Other than that, I don't have any other notes for you. Board members, do you all have questions?
I got a question. I noticed that you said that you have here that it's an 11-month course and they have to complete it within 11 months or they incur a $250 monthly charge. And then under the instructor program, it's kind of the same thing. You got a set time to finish that. So with saying that, like every student finishes in 11 months, do students have a set schedule when they come to school?
I'm sorry, I'm a little hard of hearing too.
I got you.
Yeah, I mean, like the set schedule was Monday through Friday at the times of operation. So
Gotcha.
That's a set schedule for every student.
Gotcha, and this is what they agree to when they sign. Gotcha. Okay. Same thing for the instructor program. Okay. I got you. And no part-time, so that just kind of answered my question too.
I make a motion to accept with the changes that have been requested, and good luck with everything if it works out good.
I second.
We've got a motion and a second to accept. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Thank you, members, and that was a motion by Monica and a second by Perry. We are moving on to our second school application. This is Maryville Aesthetics. It is a change in location. It starts on page 17 on your iPads. Ms. Jody Brown is on the call participating. This school is located in Maryville. You have the application, floor plan, enrollment agreement, catalog, and the contingency plan, which were received timely. I will turn it over to you, Ms. Russell.
You said Ms. Brown is online.
Yes.
Does she have the ability to talk to us?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you'll be on.
Ms. Brown, would you like to talk to us a little bit about your school?
Ms. Brown, we can't hear you. Have you unmuted yourself?
She is unmuted.
Okay. I believe, Dana, that early on, I saw a note she was having problems with the microphone. We might go ahead and just let Ms. Russell and the members go through the questions that they've got. John is looking if you've got any other notes from her. If the microphone can be fixed, we will, of course, take a minute and let her also speak to the board. But Ms. Russell, I can turn it over to you and see how we go.
That will be fine.
Thank you.
It looks like this is a change of location, is that correct? Okay.
Yes, it is.
So I went ahead and went through her paperwork because I always do. It appears that the clock hours in weeks and months to graduate do not calculate properly, so we need to have her take a look at that. According to the days and times that she has listed, I think that it's about a month or something different, one way or the other. And I had a question about, did they have part-time students? I'm not sure if she can answer that for us.
I don't believe that she does. None of her paperwork is written to reflect them.
Okay. I don't have any other notes. Board members, do you have any questions?
Is this an apprenticeship program or just our full traditional program?
This is traditional.
I asked because of our curriculum.
If you could turn your mic.
Okay. I was asking because, her curriculum that she's using, is SEMA, she's using Milady and SEMA. And I just, I always want to make sure that the school owner knows that SEMA, it still has to be, asynchronous, yes. So the teacher has to be present, along with them going through SEMA. So that's why I was asking. I saw that was the curriculum. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We make a motion to accept with get in touch with her with the change that she needs on that one page.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept, and have her to look at her weeks and months to graduate. All in favor? Aye. All right, motion carries. Good luck in your new location.
Ms. Brown, I know you can hear us. Good luck and congratulations. So the only change that was pointed out is that your weeks and months don't quite balance to the right number of hours. If you can take a look at that, the timing seems to be off about a month. Other than that, and you can send that to me anytime later. And of course, these two schools that have been presented will need an inspection by the field inspector. So, thank you. She says thank you. Members, next is on your iPads. This is Shiva Training Center. You have Ms. April Hardin, I believe, is on the call, and this starts on page 49 of your iPads. I will give everyone a chance to get there. This school is located in Knoxville. They were presented to the board in June. There were several changes that the board members wanted to take place for the documents, and the decision had been, or the request had been, that she would represent at the August meeting. So I will let you all, hopefully we won't have a problem with the mic and be able to have Ms. April join us. Thank you. I'll turn it over to you, Ms. Russell.
Ms. Harden, would you like to talk about your school?
Hey, good morning, guys. I guess I can reiterate what we are. I've been in the business for a long time, and for a while, I've just been wanting to provide an opportunity for individuals to seek a career in the beauty industry. And I always set out to do this in such a small setting. So I've spent the last couple of years trying to redesign my school program so that I could operate on a smaller scale. So allowing people to come to school, they'll be able to get their hours for the profession of their choice, the career of their choice. And then also our salon is used as a kind of like a catalyst, as a mentor program, even after they've graduated. So it's a continued support system for them afterwards. So we've always been designed to operate on a much smaller scale than most traditional beauty schools.
Okay, I've got a few questions for you, and then we'll let the board also ask you questions. Can you describe to us how your hybrid program works?
So the hybrid is just the online portion of that. So in case someone has issues with getting to the actual school during classroom hours, our hybrid program will work with using either like a Zoom meeting or Microsoft Teams, how they can connect during classroom hours to participate in the classroom 3 session.
Okay, on our page 65, board members, it outlines that students that can't make it to class could go hybrid outside of regular hours. Can you tell us, Ms. Harden, how that would work if it was outside of regular class time? Would you have an instructor available?
I'm sorry, that must be a typo because it's not outside. It's always during the regular classroom time. So that might have been a typo or something, but that's not how that works. So hybrid is only taking place during our regular classroom times, which is usually in the morning. And that was one of the things you all wanted me to change, was to kind of, I guess, highlight what the classroom times were going to be and where the classrooms are going to be held. So I put a section on the end of my enrollment agreement that outlined what times and where the classes will be held. So 9 to 11:30 is generally going to be classroom times, and that is going to be the hybrid times.
Okay, can you point me to an area, so you have full and part-time students, is that correct?
No, it's really just, so I just have one schedule, and our schedule is Monday through Wednesday, and then every other Saturday, 9 to 5, because
Okay.
I am operating still as my salon, and so the days that we're open as a school, the salon won't be open.
Okay. Can you point me to an area where the students are signing to the agreement prior to the payment?
That should be in the enrollment agreement.
Take a
Let's
look at
see.
our page 67, her page
It should be the
14.
last page, right?
It looks like it says that they have understood the agreement before signing it, but am I missing something?
Try her page 6, which is our 59. She's got a separate signature line there, acknowledges and have read and understood, and that looks like it's pretty closer to the financial piece.
Okay.
Exactly.
Let's see. So we had asked that you take a look at your practical hours for your apprentice. So on our 65, let's see what page that is for you, sorry. Your page 12. It talks about in this area that if your apprentice students were to leave the place that they were working, so working alongside a licensed person, that they would be able to come back to the classroom. Let's
I did change that, yes, ma'am. That was a miswording too, and I did change that. So they're not allowed to, once you start as an apprentice, you have to follow that program out. You cannot go back and forth. So how you start is how you have to finish. You're not allowed. So I do have that there in actually several places.
So I see that you have noted that they can't go back and forth between being a apprentice and a traditional student. However, the statement is still there, and I'm looking for it now, and I don't see it. But the statement was still there that if they were terminated with their mentor, that they would be able to complete their practical hours at your school.
No, that should have been removed because that was one of the things I had to change. Did you see, you saw that in
It's
the recent
on your
enrollment
12.
agreement?
It's about the second or third sentence on your 12. Requesting a change to your supervising professional, and none is available at that time, you will have to return to the school to resume your practical clinical hours.
So it says, well, if you request to change your supervising professional and none is available at that time, you will have to return to the school to resume your practical clinic hours. So I did leave that in there, but that should have been taken out. Yes, ma'am.
Remind me, is this all apprentice?
No, it's not.
Board members, I may have another question in a minute, but if you all have any questions, please, by all means.
Could you explain your classroom areas? Because I see that you have natural hair, aesthetics, manicuring, and instructor training. But I think I see one theory classroom, and then the annex area that could be used for additional spacing. But if you all are open those 3 days and then every other Saturday, like how do you rotate out the
Because
class
the
schedules?
classrooms, if you go to, that is on my page, should be on my page 13. And I actually have broken that down because that was one of your issues that you had the last time I was there, was about the location, which my floor plan also shows where my classrooms are. So in the same building that my school is in, I have another space that I utilize. And that space has several different rooms in it. So I can use that space for other classroom areas. So again, I broke down the times for each classroom. Also even breaking down that when the students are enrolling, they're enrolling for different programs at a time. So I'll never have more than 2 programs operating at the same time. So
Okay.
I have more than enough room for the spaces for the classrooms and the instructors to teach those classes.
Okay, and I see that on your page 13. So your natural hair, you won't be enrolling, like if somebody just came in and they wanted to enroll in the next class, they would just have to wait until
You have to wait until that
January.
class, until the enrollment. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Are you also teaching cosmetology?
No, ma'am, we don't have a cosmetology program. I decided to do that because in our area, cosmetology is not a high seeking or demanded curriculum that a lot of people are asking for. So I tried to cater the programs to what I have people that are wanting to do, and the need for them to be able to do that in a more timely and manner where I can get the students in and get them prepared and job ready, at a faster pace.
Thank you.
Within your contingency plan, under the lessons area, it looks like you're describing an asynchronous education portion if something were to happen at your building, and the only thing that they would be observed doing is taking tests. Can you tell me how your contingency plan works?
So the contingency plan is if you're talking about more towards the end of it, when I break down, like if in the event that something happens in the area for as my salon, then I still just to let you all know and rest assured that I have space that I can move over to continue the the theory part again in my annex space. So I'll never be down without a space. It's my whole goal. It's not to put the students out of the way of being able to at least come to school and train with theory. Outside of that, the other part that they want to know, in case the school had to close down completely, where would the other students go? So I have reached out to 2 schools in Knoxville that will be willing to take on the students that I have, and I have them listed as well.
So under the lessons portion, it says specifically that they would be offered on, instruction online. They are gonna log into a learning management system, and it carries on to talk about how they would complete their online education during your contingency plan. It's our 107.
So yeah, and so I get that part. I was just still trying to rest assured that if something happened and the students aren't able to come to school, then we would have that option to even work as a part of the online learning if that was the case where the school was closed down, and I didn't have the annex space either. So again, that is just part of the hybrid program, which the times would still stay the same, class meeting the same time.
Even during a contingency, we would still want to see that you have synchronous education.
Meaning, I'm sorry, I'm not following you.
So the way it appears in here, you would just have them log online, maybe to SEMA or one of those platforms,
I would
and
still
complete their education completely online.
No, not the whole education online, ma'am. It's the theory part is what this is talking about, just the lessons, the theory, not the practical or anything. It's, again, it would be still the same platform like our Milady, the same way as hybrid. So the hybrid would take over in the event that I didn't have class time, have the space to use a classroom. So my goal is to always be able to have access to them as a professor and an instructor to teach the class so that they're never down without the lessons that they need or during the lesson plans. So you have, like, during hybrid, you have students that'll sign up that that's what they can do. But in the event that something happens and that the regular students who are now also on campus, then they will, I guess, would also become like a hybrid, like they would have the access to utilize the hybrid system as well if they're not able to meet in class.
I hate to add, but I think, Ms. Harding, what the members are looking at, and I see is in that paragraph under your contingency plan page, which isn't numbered, under lessons, it is not clear that an educator would be teaching at the same time that you're doing those lessons, right? That paragraph seems to insinuate that it is all independent learning as opposed to
No.
asynchronous. So you need to
No.
add something there that clarifies that it is hybrid and virtual or asynchronous.
Right, and
That's
and even talking to the students, that will be told and will actually be laid out. So again, if that's not in there made clear, that will be made clear also to the student going through that, if that was the case, that something like that had to happen. That will be fully explained.
And she will also need to add that and send it to you, correct? That you can see that she has made the changes to the contingency plan on
Correct.
paper.
If
Yes.
the members agree, that change can come to me to where that paragraph under lessons is clear, that it is still hybrid and not online, that the instructor's part of it. Yes, ma'am.
I can do that.
So we've got 2 areas that need to be addressed. Becky, was there anything else?
No, I think that these 2 areas are of my main concern, yeah.
And so to reiterate that, it was updating the lessons that we just discussed to ensure that that is very clear, synchronous online time.
and to make sure that it is very clear that you cannot complete practical hours in a school as an apprentice student.
Gotcha. Yes, that was on the, if they don't have a professional or they want to change professionals, they can't come back to the school for their hours.
Correct.
Do you feel
Yeah,
comfortable?
and I'll just remove that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll just remove that sentence, because that sentence should have been removed when I updated the new part, when I clarified that this last time. That should have been removed, and it just was not, so I'll remove that paragraph, that sentence.
Okay. And then on page 66, I'm sorry, this is all coming back to me. A lot's happened since June. I apologize. On page R66, Becky, I'm asking you if you think it would be her, what page is that on hers? With the timeline, the calendar that we'd asked for, does that meet our needs, you think, of which programs are happening at which times?
I think that this gives the students a clear image of where they should be located, like where they're going to class.
Okay, then I'd like to propose that with those changes turned into Roxana, that we approve this application.
I have a question. The hours for manicuring, they're still short on our page 79. And maybe my calculations are just off, but it says, and it's kind of confusing, that's why we were, just trying to get it together over here, but it's 7 hours a day, Monday through Wednesday, and it has 24 weeks. But it also has 7 hours a day every other Saturday. So to calculate those together, it came to like 588 instead of 600. But I wanted to see, Beck, if you can look over it and see, am I missing something, or? And it's our page 79 under the admissions information.
Is my weeks short?
Your hours are, so it would have to be more than
The 24 weeks?
how much is it short? Yeah, about 12 hours.
It's like a week, something like that. So I think it was like where it's supposed to be 25, because it should also be almost the same, a little bit less than what the aesthetics program is.
Yeah, and just, and like you said, we're engaging with students, like, they're excited to come to school, so they're just signing and they're ready to start. And then, when school, gets in, or it's time to get out, they're, oh, well, you said 24 weeks, it's 24 weeks. And, that can keep down on the confusion. If they understand that before enrolling, and that, your documents are, aligned.
So that might have been just a miscalculation, but I can update that as well.
Yes, ma'am.
When we ask for these statements, is it, I'm curious what the requirement is. Is it up to this amount of time it should take you, or this is I guess I meet so many students who sort of all over the board on how much time it takes them to actually get the hours that they need. What is our requirement for these statements? I'm just curious.
So they're not spelled out as in, you don't have to tell the student the number of weeks or months. You could, but clearly the days of the week are vital, right? The hours that they're signing, so they know when to show up. They need to know that they need 600 hours for manicuring, because that's in our statute, that can't be changed. And you could have a statement that says, on average, you will finish in 24 to 25 weeks, because clearly if they have an emergency and leave one day and don't finish 7 hours, we all understand that that week, you're short an hour or two. So it's really hard if you're giving exact number of weeks that it'll balance. That's very difficult to do. So they could put a statement that still makes it understandable for the student. We don't dictate what that statement would be, right? Yeah.
We're talking about the manicurist hours,
Yes.
okay?
But it's short, I think, less than 15 hours. So even if she put 25 weeks, that wouldn't be correct, right? It'd be too much. So, and I think there's that understanding that they've got to hit the 600 hours. That's got to be spelled out as well.
Yeah, and definitely when we start adding weeks, we just ran into a situation like that. Oh, you said we were finished on Thursday, the 24th. Yes, but you clocked in late or you missed a day, but she was just focused on the actual, end date for the program. So in our contract, it says projected, so you're projected to finish on this day. But if you've missed days, then, but just for the students' purposes, if we are adding the weeks or a specific end date, they need to understand that, we want to make sure that it's not confusing to the students. And so I was just confused right there, just trying to add it up and then add in those every other Saturdays and all of that. So it was just a question to just look at it to make sure that it was the 600 hours and not less.
Yeah, well, I mean, this has come up with other applications, so I was just curious. And I totally hear what you're saying, that students get locked into I'm going to be here for exactly 24 weeks. And if you were sick or you missed a whole week in this instance, you clearly have more weeks to
And then they start calling
do.
to the board, hey, she said I was going to be out and I'm not out, and so,
Okay.
yeah.
For me, I think that I just don't want a student to be misled to think I can get this accomplished by this date. So with perfect attendance, best case scenario, how many weeks would it take?
Right.
So we just don't want them to think that, I can get something done in 6 months if it's actually going to take a year. So give them best case scenario, it will take this amount of time. Life happens. If it does, then the time just gets added on.
Okay, I think that's good advice. Anything else that we want to talk about?
We have a motion on the floor. I don't believe there was a second. I'll let you decide.
I will
Ms. Russell.
second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve pending the changes. All in favor? Motion carries.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Ms. Hardy. Sorry.
So sorry.
We were both-
Congratulations, Ms. Harden. Good luck with your venture.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, members. Next, we are on page 110 of your iPads. This is Memphis Barber College. It is a new Barber branch school for Mr. Emery Hammonds. He's participating virtually to answer any questions you have. The school is located in Memphis. He has another barber school also located in Memphis that has been licensed since 2022. You have before you the application, floor plan, enrollment agreement, catalog, and contingency plan that were received timely. Ms. Russell, I will turn it over to you, ma'am.
Welcome, Mr. Hammonds. Would you like to tell us about your school?
Yes, good morning. This is a new location that I'm very excited about. It's close to the University of Memphis, and it's the location that's formerly been used as a cosmetology school, Empire and New Wave, and so it's a great location. It's kind of like a new beginning for me, so I'm excited. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
We're going to ask you a few questions. Do you have any virtual options available? I think that I read something about virtual classes. Is that correct?
Yeah, based upon. Mhm.
And can you
Yes,
tell us
ma'am.
how those would work?
Well, this is a situation that we will probably, we definitely would not use it unless it's some type of shutdown or pandemic or something like that. And that will work similar to how we are communicating right now.
Okay.
You know,
So you
the
do plan
instruct-
on them being
available.
synchronous classes?
No, only in the case of a shutdown. Everything is going to be on site. But
Right.
just in case, I think we all learned in 20. In a situation like that, then we can use that for that purpose only.
Right.
Mhm.
Your agreement and contract look like they're in great shape. I'll ask the board members if they have any questions.
Sir, you're going to be offering the Barber program and the Barber instructor program. Are you offering the Barber apprentice program as well?
No apprentice, no. But I do plan, this is not the subject, but I do plan to come back for the next board meeting and offer cosmetology and natural hairstyling in October.
I got a question about your virtual education. This is on page 115, and his page 8, where it says
I'm
the
sorry,
school would have.
page 1 of 8? Does that sound right?
Yeah, it says
Okay.
1 of 8.
Okay, thank you.
That's where it says the school have the option of virtual education based on the needs of the students and staff. Virtual education is Zoom, Teams, or similar technical platforms. So what, is there a limit on that, on how much time that a student can spend in the virtual lane, so to speak? Are there conditions in terms of how much virtual someone can get?
I think that this was the question that I was asking him, and he only plans to use that in case of an
Shut down.
emergency, like
Okay.
a
For some reason.
pandemic
My
or
bad.
something like that. No, you're good.
I was
Yeah.
tuned out, I guess.
I have not been on top of my game today, so.
Listen, I'm playing catch up here too. Okay, sounds good to me.
I'd like to make a
Okay.
motion to approve.
There is a motion and a second to approve this school. All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Hammonds.
Yes.
Thank you. You have a blessed day. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. You'll let me know when you're ready to be inspected, sir. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, members. Next, on your iPads, we are on Day DAY College of Cosmetology. This is a new cosmetology branch school. Miss Amanda Young is participating with us. This school is located in Sevierville. Ms. Young has a cosmetology school in Paris, Tennessee, that has been licensed since 2023. And then a second school in Selmer, which was licensed in October 2023. You have before you the application, floor plan, enrollment agreement, catalog, and contingency plan that were received timely. Ms. Russell, I'll turn it over to you.
Welcome, Ms. Young. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your school?
Ms. Young, I believe you're muted.
Are you there? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, yes, this is our fourth location located in the beautiful town of Sevierville, Tennessee. My grandparents, they retired and moved there, and I noticed that they didn't have a cosmetology school there. And that's just kind of how it started. It's a big testimony. It's just a blessing to be able to offer that for the local students in Sevierville. They have to drive to Knoxville or like an hour away or so. So it just kind of come about, and here we are.
All right, we're going to start off with some questions. The first one that I have for you is about your floor plan. While we typically leave this, a lot of it to the inspectors to check out, it appears that you have a theory room that is also used for facials. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. It's kind of like we have a big open room, and like half of the room is used for the theory taught for aesthetics, and the other half is where they do like their practical skills.
So it is required that classrooms be enclosed. So I'm not sure that those two things can happen in the same space. That was my concern.
We have a separate theory room also located in the back corner.
Okay. Our inspectors will be out. I just wanted to let you know that that may be something that they question or looked at.
Okay.
Again, us looking at the blueprints for all the different schools, we're not always sure of what we're looking at. That
Right. I understand.
In your enrollment agreement, it looks like you say that the students will get 32 hours per week. But you are closed, let's see, is it your school? Yes, you're closed for an hour for lunch, so it appears that, your students will actually get 28 hours per week. So I'd like for you to look at your, hours of operation alongside your, clock hours of weeks and months to graduate.
Okay.
Are you offering part-time students as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think if I'm not mistaken, I looked at the part-time students, their hours look good. It was the full-time students that needed to be addressed. The area that it says, let's see, we need you to clearly identify costs and charges. I'm not seeing that located anywhere other than just in the payment plan area, and I think that that needs to be moved onto the main part of the agreement.
Okay.
It can be left there, but also duplicated, just so that they're clear what the charges are. They may
Okay.
not choose to choose an option with a payment plan, so we want to make sure that it's located somewhere where they know where it's at.
Okay.
Your refund policy, it looks like it's located in your contingency, so if the school were to close down, then you've got a refund policy, but it doesn't, I could not find it located somewhere where if a student had to leave for a medical reason, or, you know, it wasn't on the school side, but on the student's side. Can you point me to an area where a refund policy is?
Let me see. Let me get over there.
Comment on page 3.
Yeah.
Okay, we may have found it,
Okay.
let's see.
It's your page 8 is what the members are looking at?
Yes.
And Ms. Russell, is that signature at the bottom of page 8? Because that's the signature after all the financial pieces. Is that okay, or did you want her to add it somewhere else?
No, I think that there is fine. My question was about the refund policy, because I had seen it like in a contingency plan if the school closed down. So I think maybe this cancellation policy, let's see. Okay, maybe just where it says cancellation policy, you may just want to, add the word refund, so it can be like cancellation and refund policy, I don't know. Just so the students are clear about where that's at.
Okay.
The statement is fine, I just didn't, I overlooked it because I was looking for specifically refund.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I
You're welcome.
love your hybrid policy. I love the statement that you wrote about it, that it will be synchronous learning. I like the way that you worded it. props to you.
Thank you. Thank you. After 4 schools, I finally got it right. I've always had problems with that one.
Graduation requirements, can you point me to that?
Let's see. Graduation. It's in here. Let's see. That is on page 5.
Okay,
I believe. Uh-huh. At the bottom.
perfect. I just overlooked it.
That's okay.
Can I ask one question just about managing the full-time students versus the apprentice students? You mentioned
Sure.
a carousel style of learning where folks kind of start where you are at in the book.
Uh-huh.
How do you do that for your apprentice students, knowing that they will be learning theory only?
Our apprentice students, they kind of stay with us, going through the chapter, and then they also kind of work ahead, and test as they can.
Do your other schools offer the apprentice program too?
We do.
You do.
There's one wording correction on page 5 in the discrimination policy. I think you meant to write will not permit instead of prohibit.
The last note that I have for you is that I think that I would like for you to switch pages 15 and 16. I feel like you're going back and forth, like you did apprentice and then instructor and then apprentice again. So if you'll just flip those 2 pages, then I will keep all
Okay.
apprentice information together and all instructor information together.
Okay.
With those changes, I would like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have
Thank
a-
you.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations. Good luck with your new venture.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Good, good. Yes, you too, congratulations. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
members. We are moving on to Elevate Barber Academy. This is a new barber school. This starts on page 171 on your iPads. Mr. Robert Johnson is participating virtually, I believe, to assist us with the application. This school is located in Portland. The application, floor plan, enrollment agreement, catalog, and contingency plan have been received. Ms. Russell, I will turn it over to you.
Welcome. Would you like to tell us a bit about your school?
Good morning. She said Portland, but it's in Kingsport, Tennessee.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you.
My name's Robert Johnson. I currently own a school in Morristown, Tennessee, KO Barber Academy, and I saw some great things come from it, and I'm trying to go to the Kingsport area, Tri-Cities, and do another one and hopefully bring some great stuff in that area as well.
All right. We'll have a few questions for you. The first question that I had for you is on your page 9. It's about the crossover. While I think that crossover information it's nice for you to put it in there to say that a cosmetologist does not have to have that after 5 years. I don't think it was clear that who you're trying to appeal to. So the crossover, you go in, like you've put exactly what's written into our laws and rules. You've put that statement in there, but I don't think that it's clear who would go through the crossover, and then what they would be learning during that time. So the cosmetologist, what would that cosmetologist be learning?
I'm going to step in. I'm here with Robert. So the last time that we went in front of the board, we were told we needed to add that verbiage in there with our other school because they wanted us to make sure that the cosmetologists knew that they were, that they could test out of that basically. And so just to protect ourselves. And so we were actually told to put that in there. And so that's why that's there. But they're going to be going over the men's haircuts and, the shaving and those chapters that they don't really focus on in the cosmetology portion of school.
Perfect.
As
And
much.
I applaud you for having that statement in there. But if a cosmetologist prior to that 5 years, so she just got out of school or he just got out of school for cosmetology and wanted to come back, they need to know what they would be studying. So you need a list. We have you list curriculums for the Barber program, which you've done, and it looks great, but you also need a curriculum for that cosmetology student who's crossing over, cosmetologist who's crossing over.
Okay, we can add that in there.
Sure.
What are you using for your backup for your timesheets?
Well, so our timesheets, it actually, even if let's say the internet's down, I mean, we have a manual way they can sign in. But what happens with our electronic timekeeping is it will still allow them to clock in, and it will update that once it comes back online as well.
And if I could interrupt, is this Miranda speaking? We didn't get a name, just all of a sudden someone.
It is.
Okay.
Miranda.
So members,
Yeah.
this is Miranda. She helps with this school as well as their prior school, so thank you.
You all are offering the apprentice program. Have you established relationships with professionals who will take these students on?
We do, and we were asked to list one, and we listed Danny Donaldson. But we also have, relationships with other people as well, but we were just asked to list one. We've successfully had the apprentice program at our other school, and it's done very well. And so we would probably lean on some of those relationships again, and then, others in the Tri-Cities area as well.
Okay, we always just want to make sure that these students have somewhere to go.
Yes, for sure.
Board members, that's all the questions that I had about this one. If you all have any other questions.
I'd like to make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve the school application. All in favor? Aye. Congratulations, and good luck in your new venture.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Members, the next school before us is Golden Shears Beauty Academy. This is a new cosmetology branch school. Mr. Elvin Mejia is participating with us. This branch school is located in Nashville. Mr. Mejia has a couple of other schools, as well as a cosmetology and barber school. For this case, the application, floor plan, enrollment agreement, catalog, and contingency plan are presented before you, and it starts on page 237. I'll turn it over to you, Ms. Russell.
We'd like to welcome you and give you a chance to talk about your school.
Hello, good morning, you all. How are you doing?
Good.
Thank you. Well, we're very excited. We've been in business for 2014, and we have seen the growth of our students international from all different countries, and we're very excited to continue to help as many students as we can. And we want to thank the board as well for helping us as well to continue be a better school as well.
All right. I have a couple of questions for you. One of them is a statement. In the curriculum area, you have the curriculum correct, but you have a statement just listed above the curriculum that says this, the state's suggested curriculum, and it's actually required. So if you can remove the word suggested. Can you tell me where you are, where you've made a statement that the full and part-time hours will be kept separately?
Okay, I do, then I have my other director who actually put the curriculum together, but we will jump immediately
Sure.
to make those changes. Yes, and we will be able to send it to you immediately.
Okay, and do you have a place where it says that the full and part-time hours are being kept separately?
Yes,
Is that within your agreement, enrollment agreement? Can you direct us to
yes.
that area?
Don't have it right in front of me right now. But we do have a smart that we keep our hours separately, and we do have our apprenticeship to sign up, sign-in sheet as well to keep record on that as well.
Okay, we will need to locate that statement, as well. So that may be something that you can point out to Roxanne at a later time, if your school's approved.
Yes.
You start talking about, on your page 6, it's our 247, you start talking about apprenticeship, and I think that you're doing an okay job of describing apprenticeship, but whenever we get to page 7, I feel like the waters get a little muddy. Like, I kind of understood what's going on your page 6, and then whenever we get to 7, I lost it, and I'm not sure. Let's see. The summary, I think, is good, on your 6. I'm trying to look and see exactly what the statement was that, one of the things I think that you've got, cosmetology program and then offered apprentice, and I wonder if you're saying each one of these are offered as an apprenticeship program as well. And it just gets confusing because I can't tell if we're talking about the traditional program or apprentice in each one of these scenarios. So you may need to separate those and talk about your traditional programs and then talk about your apprentice programs, because it gets kind of lost in translation, if you just make a note that it's offered as an apprenticeship. And I'm not certain that that's what you were saying, and I think that's why I was so confused with this. You need to
Right.
have almost a separate area that says apprenticeship, and this is how it's offered, and in each one of the areas.
Right. We do have 2 levels of schools, and we have Sheer Perfection Academy, the bottom level, and the top level is our apprenticeship school. We have gone through a lot of change and also ownership as well. I have a new business partner. His name is Dr. Lance Benedict, and he's actually helping us organizing the 2 levels as well. So maybe that's the reason why you might seem a little confused, but we will take care of that as well.
Is this school only apprenticeship or
Yes, this one is only apprenticeship, yes.
this is an apprenticeship-only school that you're offering the cosmetology, the aesthetics, and the nails, apprenticeship only?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's why we're confused.
So if you will look, Mr. Mejia, on your floor plan, you've got hair stations. So the confusion is because your floor plan would seem to reflect that there's practical hours at the school.
Okay, yes, it seemed like, but we already separated where all the apprenticeships spaces are on the sides. Yes, and also, yes, we have them come once day of the week.
I'm sorry?
We do have students to come to school as well if they once a week.
What are they doing during that one day a week?
Well, they actually come for questions about their chapters or the theory part of it. Well,
So the way that apprenticeship works, your students would attend your school learning theory only for 750 hours. Those students would then
Correct.
take a test and pass their test in theory only. Then they would be placed with a licensed professional in a shop somewhere. The shop professional would communicate hours back to you, but other than that, you're not teaching any practical application. So we're confused about why they would be coming to your school one day a week. They should be attending your school at all times during the first 750 hours. And then they should not be attending your school during the second 750 hours. They would be in a shop somewhere.
oh yes, that's correct. That they do come, to the school. What I'm saying is I'm open to them one day of the week because I'm in and out, so I meet with them, once a week. But they're already in school here, like the way it should be.
I have a question, on his page 3, I think this is on our, page 244, and this will be a question, I guess, for Joe, in terms of, because it looks like we're kind of catering to, foreign students here in this program under the, admission requirements section, under that second section. Says, per guidelines set forth by the state of Tennessee, non-citizen applicants must provide the following documents to gain licensure. And so this has always been a question for me as a school owner, like what can we take for students coming from overseas? Because I'm under the assumption that you have to be a legal citizen to be able to gain licensure. So this has a lot of things down there, and
Correct.
he even has a reference on there, which is good. But I'm just kind of curious.
So this document, every school should have saved
Okay.
as a PDF. This is
Okay.
part of the Verification for Entitlement Act that we've been following since 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And we do absolutely take individuals that may not, well, obviously not US citizens. So you would be falling under the qualified alien piece.
Mm-hmm.
And these documents that are listed are among the documents that allow you to be able to be here and work here. And so these are options of what they can provide. The 551 is the permanent resident card. It's the most common that we get.
Right.
And so this is simply, because he does have more international students, he's listing it as a courtesy, which sounds perfect.
Right.
But it's coming from the federal, the Verification for Entitlement Act. So if an individual has a particular visa that allows them to work here, that's what they would provide. If they have that employment card, so it's listing those. When they apply for their license, they provide that to us, and our office has to submit them to what's called a saved database through immigration. So that's all he's really doing, is copying a document to give his students that information ahead of time.
Good deal.
Yes.
Okay, so I think, Elvin, this is Amy. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're well.
Hey, Amy, how are you? Good
I'm
to hear from you.
good. I'm good.
Us.
Is this connected to your other school? Because if you've got the levels, I totally get that part, because I've been to your schools before. Is this a separate
Yeah.
building, or is this next to your existing school?
Yeah, it's a separate building.
It's a separate building. Okay. Because I think what I'm confused is, I love that you're offering the apprentice program only for these courses. You almost have way too much information, because it looks like you can take the traditional course or the apprentice course. And if you're only offering apprentices through this school, I'd like to see all references to the traditional program removed.
Sure.
Same with your
Sure.
floor plan, because it looks like on your floor plan, you've, like we've said, you've got a traditional school, but if you're only using these classrooms, I think we only want to see those classrooms and not the full, because you won't be using the full school for
Sure.
this program.
Sure.
Want to make sure that those classrooms are accessible by the public for your students.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'll take care of that.
Okay, yeah, because we've seen a lot of, I mean, I think the applications that are easy for us to approve are schools that are doing in-person or doing apprentice. It's these schools that are trying to offer all of it that gets really confusing. And the good news is you're not trying to offer all of it, but I think your presentation needs to be simplified dramatically for this to make sense to anybody.
Sure. Thank you so much, Amy. I'm so glad you actually have visited our location here so you can see all those spaces we have and we're getting there. So thank you so much.
I know, it's exciting. It's a good thing. I totally get it. I just want to make sure this is all laid out for your students to better understand.
Yes, because
Yes, ma'am.
he did say that this is an apprenticeship only, correct? So under the transfer of students with programs and then transfer of clock hours, it's saying that it's basically at the administrator's discretion. But if they are transferring programs or not, or they just need to know an apprenticeship that is not a transference, they have to start over, correct? But that's not stated here. Like he said, it's stated for like traditional programs and not geared, it's not written toward the apprenticeship programs. And that's on his page 4, our page 261.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would feel more confident if, Elvin, you represented this by stripping out all of the full-time program information and sending this back to us for approval for only apprentice language and programs.
Sure. No problem.
I second.
Yeah, that would be my motion, that you clean this up, Elvin, and simplify this to where this is truly only apprentice-only information, including the transfer hours. That's a good catch. Because if you're in an apprentice program, you can only transfer to and from other apprentice programs. That needs to be very clear, especially if they're transferring from one of your existing school, that doesn't work. So yeah, I'd love to see you strip out everything and send this back to us, please. That'd be my
Sure.
motion.
Yeah. Sure. We will send that ASAP.
We have a motion and a second to deny and have him represent. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. All right, we look forward to seeing you hopefully at our next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, members. Next, on your iPads, we're on page 278. This is URZ Professional Lash Academy. It's a specialty aesthetic school. Ms. Krishona Wilson is participating virtually to answer your questions. This school will not be offering aesthetics. They'll be offering eyelash specialty only. I think we have one other school that has done that. The eyelash specialty license did not open a specialty eyelash school, but obviously as an aesthetic school, which is specialty, doesn't control the space and so forth, they can choose to just offer the eyelashes. The school is located in Knoxville. You have before you the application, floor plan, enrollment agreement, and catalog, which were all received timely. Ms. Russell, I will turn it over to you.
Welcome, Ms. Wilson. Would you like to tell us a bit about your school?
Yes, my name is Krishana, and I'm the owner of Your Professional. We started out, just a bit about myself, I started out going to school just for lashes and found out you couldn't do that, that you either had to get a cosmetology license or esthetician license at the time. So I went through with the full esthetician program because I had the support. But then as I came out of school and I opened up salon suites, there were a lot of young ladies who wanted to come lash, but they weren't licensed. And the reason they weren't licensed was because they didn't either have the time or the resources to go to school for a full aesthetics or cosmetology program. And now that the state laws have changed, we don't have any schools here that offer just lashes. And when you go to school, they don't really focus on the education of lashes, maybe for like a week or two. So they're not really, when they want to lash, they're not really getting the education on how to lash. They're going to school and learning everything but that. So we want to be able to remove the gaps so that we can get more licensed lash professionals out here in the industry.
All right. Thank you so much. One area that I think that I would like for you to clear up a little bit is, let's see what page it is for you. Your page 2, it talks about the cost of the course. We need it to clearly identify all costs and charges. And while you do have it there, I had to read over it several times, and I'm still not certain that I, as a student, would know exactly how much was owed. I can't tell what's tuition, what's kit, was the kit included, was it not? So if you can just clear that up, make it very clear how much the tuition is, how much the kit is, the application fee, and give us a bottom line, this is how much it will cost to go to school. I think that would be very helpful for your students. On 286, board members, and that is your page 5.
Becky, the LASH program is 200 hours, is that correct?
300.
300.
300.
300 hours, okay, thank you.
On your page 5, you make a statement that students must attend at least 80% of the 300-hour program to be eligible for graduation. So that sounds like they would not have to complete 300 hours in order to graduate. Now, you've got some language other places in your documents that make me think that you would indeed make the students complete 300 hours, but I think that that could be very confusing, that if I only completed 80%, I wouldn't understand why I couldn't graduate and sit for licensure. So I'd like for you to either remove that statement, reword it, whatever it takes, but I don't want them to be confused. It is exactly 300 hours.
Yes, no, when I put the 80%, I do need to reword it. What I meant was they need to have an attendance rate of at least 80%. So if they don't, like if their attended percentage is under 80% at any time, they can be removed from the program.
So even with that, even as you started to say it, it still made me think that I only needed to attend. So be very careful that you state that if a student falls below 80% attendance, that they would be terminated, whatever you want to state there, but don't allow them to think that they only have to complete 80% of 300 hours.
Correct.
Your signature line, I don't see that the students are signing prior to making payment, so make sure that your signature line states that they're signing an agreement prior to making payment to your school. Can you explain your backup for your timekeeping?
Yes, so for me to our backup for timekeeping, we'll be able to either write that in or they'll be able to call in if they're not able to log in online, and we'll be able to sign that in. But about your previous statement about the cost,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so on page 2, would that not count of them making the signature before they make the payment? Then they have a signature part at the very end as well.
I can accept that as long as you clean up the language on page 2 to make it clear what they are paying.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that your backup for timekeeping, that you do have that recorded at all times. You don't want to ever lose. Our point in having a backup for timekeeping is that if your digital system breaks at any time, do you still have that written down somewhere? Do you have it on a document somewhere?
Yes.
So we just want to make sure that you do have it doubled somewhere so that you have a backup?
Yes, we have a log that we keep.
Okay.
So we have a back log that we keep on like a spreadsheet, but also like if there was a problem where they couldn't log in or something like that, they could be able to call us or they'd be able to sign in.
Perfect. All right, members, do you have any additional questions?
No, I think what you've mentioned is really helpful. Thank you.
You're saying they can call in if they can't get signed in, so are you doing this virtual?
So we will have, it's a hybrid component to it too, yes. So they can come in person or they can do hybrid.
On our 285, she kind of explains the virtual component as synchronous. That's why I had no questions about it.
Yes,
The
it'll be
magic
synchronous.
word.
Yes.
I'm gonna get you a T-shirt, Becky. If I could spell synchronous, I'd get that ready for you. I have to write that down. All right, then I'll make a motion that with those updates, that we would approve this pending those updates, getting those to Roxana.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to accept this school application or approve this school application. All in favor? Aye. Congratulations, Miss Wilson. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Good luck. Congratulations. Thank you, members. Next on your iPads, we are starting on page 316. This is Hideout Academy. It is a new cosmetology school, and we have here in person, Miss Chelsea's been patiently waiting. Chelsea Joffrey, you have before you the application, floor plan enrollment agreement, catalog, all on your iPads. I will make sure that she's got the red button on to speak to you, and Ms. Russell, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. Would you like to tell us a bit about your school?
Absolutely. My name is Chelsea Joffrey, as you just heard. I am starting Hideout Academy. I own Hideout Salon and Lounge in East Nashville and Raven Skin and Lash, also in East Nashville. I've been a stylist for 20 years and an educator for different brands and companies for 9 years through Rudy's and Evo, those two brands and companies. Hideout Academy is in Sylvan Park. I restored a beautiful building from the 1900s. It used to be an old Freemasons building, and it's on Charlotte. It's in a really great neighborhood, and I'm really excited about the academy. It's more than 4,600 square feet, and I submitted all of the paperwork, and you'll see the floor plan where we have the classrooms. We're really excited to make sure that quality education is provided. I've been in this industry for, like I said, 20 years, and I want to make sure that students are equipped for the industry. I have a huge passion for educating within my own salon for licensed individuals, and I want to start off with it, with a great start from the very beginning.
Okay, well, we'll have a few questions for you. I've checked on your clock hours and weeks and months to graduate. It doesn't appear like the math quite works out. It's not far off, but if you'll take a look at that. The graduation requirements. I see that you have something listed as graduation and belongings, and this is not exactly what we were looking for as far as graduation requirements. So you're talking about like how long they've got to collect their belongings after they graduate, but we want to know like what would a student have to do to graduate? So complete their hours, would they have to do all tests, make a certain percentage, whatever the graduation requirements are for you. We need that laid out. Is there a place, did I miss it somewhere in your documents?
I see where you're talking about on about the graduation requirements. I think that portion may have mainly been in our handbook. I can transfer that information over and get that updated to make sure that it's bulletined and clear.
The statement doesn't have to be long. They just need to know, just these few items need to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I have that jotted down to adjust.
As I say about every, almost every one of these, so Amy can put this on my shirt too. The signature prior to payment, I don't think that it says, it should be somewhere close to the signature line prior to payment. And those are the only notes that I have, so we'll let the other board members ask questions.
For the record, I like your T-shirt, and it's very helpful to have Becky's checklist. She's very good at what she does. I'm just confirming, you're offering the full-time, part-time cosmetology program in person and no apprenticeship, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. That's my job, is to sort through in my brain what exactly is happening here. Okay, that's great. I don't have any other questions.
Could we look at page 334? It's her 14 at the top of the page is an acknowledgement right after the financial piece. It's at the top though, so you might have to click on it to,
Yep, that works for me.
okay, thank you.
Make a motion to accept the school as is. It looks like a good job.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the school application. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you all.
Thank you, members. Next on your iPads, we are on page 384. This is Beauty and Barber College. It is a new cosmetology and a new barber school. Mr. Brian Reynolds should be participating with us to go over any questions that you've got. This school is located in Hickson. You have the application, the floor plan, enrollment agreement, catalog, and contingency plan. They were all received in the office timely. I will turn it over to you, Ms. Russell.
Welcome, Mr. Reynolds. Would you like to tell us a bit about your school?
Okay, I'm Marcy Levacy, and I'm representing Brian Reynolds. I'm the Dean of Schools. Brian is the school owner.
Okay.
I apologize. Could I get your name again, please?
It's Marcy Levacy.
Thank you.
Yes, we own Dalton Institute in Georgia, and we own 2 schools in the Atlanta area and 1 in South Carolina. We would like to add the school in Hickson with our schools. We are NACAS accredited at our other location. We purchased the Dalton Institute in April of 23, and we offer Title IV funding there, and we would like to make Beauty and Barber College a additional location to the Dalton School to have Title IV funding.
Okay, we will start out with a couple of questions. I noticed in your curriculum, and I know that this is only a change of ownership, so you're likely to have a lot of the paperwork from the school prior to this, but the curriculum needs to match exactly, and Cos and Barber do not match exactly. They're close, but there are a few things that are different in that, so we'll need that curriculum to match. The other curriculums that you listed were correct, if I'm not mistaken. This is you have, yes, manicuring and aesthetics seem like that they were perfect, but cosmetology and barbering need to go back to our online, or our curriculum that is listed on our website. And then can you point me to a place in your paperwork where it describes the student's role regarding the sanitary code?
Yes, give me 1 second. Page 4 of the enrollment application.
I think I found it right about the time you said it, so it was just an oversight. All right.
No worries.
Board members, do you have any questions?
Well, I'm just clarifying again. So we've got applications for a change of ownership of an existing school and the addition of a barber school in the same location?
Yes.
And if I could clarify, the school that you are moving into, were they still with an active license to where this is a change of ownership? I don't believe that they were.
Yes, they're currently licensed at the Chattanooga College. So they had medical and beauty all in one. They moved their medical to a separate location, but their beauty is still left at the Hickson location. So we are going to purchase the existing beauty location, and we would like to add barbering to that at that location. It's 17,500 square feet.
Dang. You've got plenty of space. And no apprentice.
No apprentice. No hybrid.
Wow.
We do use Milady and we
Check
do
off.
use Milady and SEMA. We do use Milady and SEMA, but we do SEMA in the classroom with the students, like they are on campus.
You're making this almost too easy.
Don't say that out loud, Becky. So the current application just needs the curriculum updated to match the state requirements. And with that change, I would make a motion to accept.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept with the curriculum change. All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marcy. Congratulations. Thank you, members. We are on to our last school. This starts on your iPads on page 454. This is a change of location of ownership. It's a cosmetology as well as a barber school. Mr. Eric Johnson should be on the call participating. This change of ownership includes both of the licenses. The school is located in Memphis, and this school is Urban Beauty and Barber Institute. You have before you the application, floor plan, contingency plan, catalog enrollment agreement, and they were received timely. Ms. Russell, I will turn it over to you, ma'am.
Welcome, Mr. Johnson. Would you like to tell us a bit about your school?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Do you hear me well?
Yes.
Oh, very good. Well, let me say good morning. Good morning to all of you. I appreciate your time. And I'm super excited to bring to Memphis, Tennessee, an amazing school to add my own twist to it. I've been in the industry for more than 30 years. And what's so amazing about this is that this is actually still a part of the actual school that I came from. And my first major salon was the actual school that I graduated from. So this is like full circle for me. And I'm just super excited, to share it. It has always been my belief that if we empower, equip, and build a healthy student to become a healthy professional, we would attract a healthy client and ultimately empower a healthy community. I've spoken at many schools across the city, so it just made sense that, when and as this thing became full circle, that I would, have my own passions and my own desires to see people empowered to their best possible space to actually own a school. So I'm like really super excited. And I've been communicating with Miss Roxanne, and I know she is like, oh my God, who are these people? I've reached out, and he's reached out, and my wife, who's my trusted sidekick, supervisor, boss lady, girlfriend, all the rest of those things. So we've been, communicating, to get this thing done as efficiently as possible, as to create what would really make a huge difference in the education of these future professionals to become not just licensed, but really win in the industry.
All right. I'd like to start out with a couple of questions. Are you offering any hybrid or virtual options for school?
So the hybrid options will be in cases of emergencies, shutdown or different things like that.
Can you point me to an area where you talk about graduation requirements?
Hold on one second. Under obligations of school and student.
Okay.
I think it's page 5 of my sheet.
Okay. I would like for you to probably note that that it is a graduation requirement rather than just the obligations. I think that saying the word graduation requirement might be helpful there. I see probably that statement will grant a diploma of graduation. That statement is probably what needs to be under that, but if you'll just clarify that for the students.
All right, done.
Okay. Do you have so in your contingency plan, who would these students go to? So what schools do you have an alliance with or whatever for a contingency? Where would they go?
So we've established a few relationships with some schools. However, well, not necessarily. However, we did not list them there just in case something did happen regarding their school. However, we do have relationships as well with schools that would be able to assist us, and we also were. Let me get this right. So we would in the building or in the efforts to be sure that the students were able to get a refund on their monies. Prorated. You can hear my wife in the background. To prorate what it is that they've already paid us, and then help them locate schools that were offering the same things that we were offering.
So we actually like for that to be listed for the students. While we would love that, if you knew that you were shutting down, that you would send them an email or a letter that says, hey, here's places that you could go. If something happened and you weren't able to do that, then they need to know ahead of time that, just in case you do have a contingency plan, they would be accepted in other locations. So just take a look at your contingency plan. And then,
Excuse me. No, would you? No, we do have a list. We just didn't put it on here. So I mean, that's no problem to add that. We do have a list
sure.
of the schools that.
Right.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay.
So I can shoot that to Rock.
So board members, on our page 470, it talks about the apprenticeship information, and I am just not really clear on if the requirements of apprenticeship are being met. So can you point us to the statement that says that the student will attend 50% in a classroom in theory and 50% in a salon and practical?
So,
Okay, so,
Becky, all of that
on the-
information is on our 476. It's just kind of, to your point, as in a previous presentation, not directly next to the apprenticeship information.
Okay.
So looks like, I'm looking to see what you can say 150% of the time to complete it as well. I don't know if that is included. I do like how you say, at some point I saw that you don't take any hours transferred into your apprenticeship. That was under transfer policy. But you may have Becky might have some suggestions on how she wants, this organized a little better.
Okay.
It was just really difficult to be able to locate that. I need to be able to clearly see 50% in a classroom, 50% in a salon or shop. The note that they have a test in between, that they must pass their theory test. That needs to be outlined very clearly. You've established, go ahead.
Okay, so on the second paragraph on page 6, under let me see, under Cosmetology Master Barber Nail Technician and Aesthetic Apprenticeship Programs, second paragraph outlines that. Under the an apprenticeship sponsor verification form as well. So yeah, I think that's page number 6, second paragraph. And there's also a clear one under the apprenticeship sponsor verification form as well.
Members, you all are looking at this. Can you help me? Are you all seeing that information?
So on 470, with the apprentice sponsorship verification form, the second page of that, 471, R471, under the mandatory apprenticeship clause, details some of this. It doesn't talk about passing the test. That information does exist on our page 476.
Okay, I've gone back to 466, which is another area, and I'm reading there, and I do see the 50%. 50% of their apprenticeship program and pass the theory exam. So that is there. I just feel like it's really spread out and very difficult to find if we could get this all in one area. And then, of course, there needs to be a statement that says that they have up to 150% of the time as compared to a traditional student.
Okay, let me see.
I mean, the good news is there's a lot of information here. The better news is it could be better organized into the apprentice programs in one place and the traditional programs in another place, because they're so different.
Okay, I get. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Roxanne, I can have that to you.
Yeah, it's all there, most of it. I mean, I think the 150% is missing, but I think the rest of it is there. I've got a question. Where's your tuition listed?
Hold on one second. That's a good, right?
Is it good?
Hold on.
What does it say?
I think it's to be written in. Is that correct?
Oh, fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. TBD.
So we always want to know that you have relationships established with folks to take on your apprenticeship students. I see that you've listed a barber and a cosmetologist here. What about the aesthetics and manicuring programs? Do you also have relationships established for those students?
Yes. Yes, I can get those to you as well.
So I've got a question. Do we feel like, this is kind of a lot of things moving around, do we think this is enough to do in the meantime, or should we have him reorganize everything and resubmit like we've asked a previous applicant to do?
I make a motion to reorganize and resubmit.
I second it.
Can I ask the question? If I'm able to get, because I mean, we have all of the information. Reorganizing is honestly a matter of a few clicks. I could get this to you as in within an hour or less. So it's not a problem to do it at all. And I apologize for it being over the place. We're trying to be sure that everything that you needed was here, but reorganizing is not a problem at all.
And if I
I mean,
could
literally
add,
within an
I
hour.
think, Amy, to your point, we've asked another owner to represent because there were a lot of different things that needed to happen. This is falling in line with, based on your questions and inquiry with that. I think that was sort of your point. There are just several things, and we've already had one school have to represent.
Yeah, well, and it's the same situation with which courses, which programs are we offering, and how is this presented to us? So we've got a motion and a second, I believe.
We do have a motion and a second to deny, requesting that he move his information around and represent with clearer information. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we look forward to seeing you hopefully at our next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you,
All right,
members.
thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are going to go now on to our applications to test, and we'll keep going. Mike will join us for the legal report, but we can keep going because we've got several other pieces here on your iPads on page 483. You'll give me a minute. You have before you an application to test. This is from Mr. Omar Ziad Ahmed Antuli. Mr. Antuli has completed 1,800 hours in Palestine between January 2020 and January 2022. The translated document reflects the curriculum, but it reflects it closer to the cosmetology industry. He is asking for the board's permission to test as a master barber, not as a cosmetologist. In his statement, he has done the straight razor shaving, and it may be just a way that the educational hours are reflected in his country. But given that we review these and put applicants to test, we would need the board's approval to let him test as a master barber.
He prefers to test as a master barber?
Yes, and traditionally, that's what he was doing before coming here, so that is what he'd prefer to follow.
I make a motion that we allow him to test as a master barber.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to allow him to test as a master barber. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next on page 486, this is an application to test for Tot Thai Huang. This individual had a manicure license obtained via reciprocity, which was revoked in 2012. Since then, she's attended a school in Tennessee. She would like to take the Tennessee exams and be sure that the board would still approve her for her license. So this is a request simply to take the exams based on prior history.
She's taken the hours here in Tennessee. Those have been verified.
Yes, she has.
Make a motion that we allow her to test.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to allow her to test. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. And I had Amy as a motion and David as a second, just since sometimes the recording isn't that clear. Next, we have an application for a licensure from Emma Nang Nguyen. Ms. Nguyen had a manicure license obtained via reciprocity. That license was revoked in 2016. Since then, she's attended a school in Tennessee, and she has passed both of her exams. And you see her practical exam on page 491. She passed that, the theory, in June of 2023, and she, in January, passed the practical. So she's asking for consideration for her license with those two passing scores.
I make a motion that we grant her her license.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to grant the license. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. On page 503, we're moving on to our reciprocity, and we don't get a lot of the reciprocity that need to be presented. This is a cosmetology license from Texas for Ms. Jaden Davis. The certification shows that Ms. Davis applied for her license with us in September 2024. At that time, she was under her father's military orders, and she was under the age of 18. The family was moved to Tennessee for his military status. She turned 18 during the move and therefore no longer was on his military orders. Because she had only obtained 1,000 hours in Texas at that time, and she did not have a years of work history, the board office had sent her a letter saying she was missing 500 hours in order to substantially meet our requirement. She attended a school in Texas, and that school has also provided a document regarding her and her experience and how well she did. She passed both exams with PSI in Texas, but because of her dad's move through the military, she didn't obtain that license. Due to the fact that she'd only had it a few months, she was short the hours. What she's requesting is for the board members to consider her not having to take the Tennessee exams again, given that PSI's national exam uses our database of questions as well as Texas. So it would be the first time that we're doing that, but basically she could be taking the exact same exam again if we had her to take the exams, with the exception possibly of our laws and rules. So that is her request. She's gone through a lot with the move, a lot of schooling, a long period of time, and exams in Texas. But she's asking for those exams to count here.
And she did the 1,000 hours in Texas because that is the requirement in Texas
correct.
now. Is
That
the
is
complete program is 1,000 hours.
California, Texas, and New York are at 1,000, yes. And the board usually, if we have 1 year experience, we can substitute the experience in lieu of the hours, but that was not her case due to her father's move. So my recommendation would be to approve her. She's in a unique situation. If it wasn't that PSI had the national exams where our database of questions are the same, we probably wouldn't be addressing that because the exam would be substantially different.
I make a motion that we grant her the license.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve her license. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Our last reciprocal applicant, you have before you a application for a manicure license with reciprocity from Florida. This is Thuy Thai Vu. This license from Florida reflects the initial licensure of August 2020, so exactly 25 years ago. However, the manicurists in Florida do not take either exam. Ms. Vu is requesting that the exams be waived given that she's been licensed since 2000. And she is also licensed in North Carolina. The board has given us authority to look at anyone licensed for 30 years and not require the exam. So this would be dropping it to 25 if we decide to do that.
She's wanting to test?
She is wanting to not test. She has had a Florida license since 2000. Florida does not require theory or practical. She's also licensed in North Carolina. Because our manicurists or aesthetics coming from Florida, they too don't have any exams. The board's previous decision was if someone had been in the industry for 30 years, then the exams would not be required. She hasn't quite met the 30 years. She's at 25, so it would be at the board's discretion to lower that. And if we approve her going forward, anyone that has 25 years of experience working in the industry, which is substantial, would also not need to have the exams at that point.
Has she been working this?
She's been working in the industry since then.
Okay. I make the motion to approve.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the reciprocity. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, and just to be clear, that's what we'll do going forward if we've got applicants with 25 years, so that should work.
Yeah, I mean, I will speak personally that we employ folks who've moved here from all over the country and taking the exams. We have met folks who have learned that they have to take the exam and they frankly choose not to because they're so terrified of studying and trying to pass another test and are choosing to work unlicensed instead. Not for me, but in the industry, I'd love having. Yeah, I know better than to get in trouble with this own board, right? But I do think this is a great opportunity, so thank you.
Okay, thank you. Members, we're going to go ahead, if it's okay. Mike,
You want to go?
Whenever you're ready, we will let you switch over to the legal report. It'll leave us just one topic that we do want to have a conversation about, and then obviously the director's report that you've got in front of you. So I will let everyone switch their documents on their iPads over to the legal report. I believe we have 193 cases. Don't panic, Mike, it's all yours.
And with that, I'll say good morning. A couple things. Number one, sorry for not wearing a necktie. Did some yard work at my mom's this morning and some mosquitoes took it out on my neck, so no good deed goes unpunished. The second thing is on item 69. I did subsequently receive an appropriate response to that complaint, and so I'm recommending closure for item number 69. And then the other thing I was going to bring up was what Roxana talked about. We have some cases in the cosmetology report, which we are referring to as the Colorado cases. If the board needs a little bit more meat on that, Roxana has dealt with the executive director from Colorado on that, but basically it's the same complaint times 77. So with that being said, if the board has any questions about my recommendations, I'll be happy to answer them as best as I can.
So for those Colorado cases, just to be clear, we're revoking those licenses and issuing a $1,000 fine for unlicensed activity?
That's
Or-
if it goes to a hearing. If they will settle by consent order, we just want the voluntary revocation of the license.
Gotcha, okay. How did these, can I ask how these came before us?
Yes, so and this happens in various states, and it's happened before, unfortunately. As we see an uptick in certain states coming in, it kind of catches our eye. And so by the time we were able to do an audit, which takes a minute, we had enough information of individuals whose name would appear to match other individuals in other states. And so when we looked at it, what Colorado was able to confirm is that the date of birth and social security number did not match who we had once they applied and the license from that state. So that's how, those are the facts that are, pretty easy to prove, but you need to do a full audit. So, and John was awesome and opened all the cases for us in one day, so our numbers could kind of fall together. So, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I thought the legal cases were very clear. I thought the language was great. I didn't have any further questions. I did notice there were just quite a few anonymous complaints. I guess more than most, but I'm very thankful for the thorough nature in which all of them were investigated.
On 78, there was a consumer complaint on 6/22/25. And they had been inspected in 4/22/25, and everything was okay.
Yes.
Okay. So when a complaint comes like that, right after an inspection, since they had just previously been inspected, everything's okay?
Well, what we've done on that is, Roxana, correct me if I'm wrong, I think if they were inspected in a 4-month period prior to a complaint, we don't send somebody right back out again. And that's to be cost effective.
In there that they had already denied, they had to be very careful not to.
Hello? If you can mute yourself if you're on Teams, thank you. We will make sure that the opportunity is available to anyone that has questions regarding the agenda or anything else covered when we get to the new business. Thank you. The only thing, Judy, that I would add to that, If the complaint had very specifics or photographs or something more for us to go on, we would obviously flag it and go sooner. But a lot of these are coming in anonymous, and so what we don't want to do is feel like we are, overimposing or picking on a shop or whatever and go too often.
And to piggyback on what Roxana said, we've had situations, and I think we had a situation here where somebody turned in a lot of people at one time. And some we did investigate because there had not been a recent inspection, but some fell within that 3 to 4 month time period.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would just like to ask, because there were a couple of those instances where we referenced previous inspections, if we could just flag some of those. I don't want folks to think that if they've been inspected and everything was great, that they're not going to get inspected again for a significant amount of time.
We could maybe shorten that time period.
I know that there's a lot of inspections going on.
Yeah.
I think there's also a lot of unlicensed activity going on, and I think the impression is that if they've passed
Okay.
an inspection, that the inspector's not gonna come around for a year, now 2 years? So, some of these are likely very relevant anonymous complaints. I would just ask that we flag some of those
Okay.
for maybe a sooner rather than later re-inspect.
And something that this may be a decent time to talk about is in the one of our meetings, whether it's October or December, we're going to look at language on inspections. What does the board want to do? And it's going to be in rules so that we can set kind of those parameters, because the shall inspect annually is no longer a shall, which gives the board some authority to figure out how do we do the routine inspections for those shops that get 100s. And so that's where I hope we'll have that flexibility to go more often to the complaint pieces and open shops faster and change in location. And for those shops that are doing well, that shall at least gives us that flexibility. So in rule, you as board members will kind of discuss that together, and so that we can come up with the right language. Does that help?
If there aren't any other questions, I'd like to make a motion to accept the legal report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the legal report. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. Great job.
You do such a fantastic job. We can forgive the no tie thing.
And I think
Try not to make it a habit.
have a great rest of your day what's left. Thank you. Members, let's switch back to our presentation, if that's okay with you. And we are on page 519. Let's look at the financial numbers. This report is as of June 2025. It shows the board at a deficit of $95,713. We still have a surplus of over $1 million, to be exact, $1,085,927. This is informational only. At the October meeting, we should have final numbers for 2025. Nevertheless, we know that we've been right in that cusp under $100,000 of being in a deficit. So the only thing to quickly add to this, I don't think I had it on the agenda, but just as an update, the Cosmetology Compact hopefully will give us that multi-state cosmetology license within a year or so. We met for the first time together, the 7 or 8 by then of us states that have passed it. I was elected as the chair, so it's gonna be a busy year, but I think we're gonna get a lot done. Thank you. That will mean everything from the database to what data we're gonna feed into this national registry, how much it's gonna cost, and that's gonna dictate then what we look at as, for our licensees. If we're having a fee increase, which we've known would be coming, what that number should be, because I believe our reciprocal numbers will go down. But Tennessee, of course, welcomes. We've got great schools. You're seeing how many we're opening at each meeting. And so as a home state, I think it's great that they will be able to come here, and we have so many neighboring states. You've got Alabama, Kentucky, Maryland has signed on, Virginia, and Colorado, Arizona. So those are, I think I've left one out. But it'll give people some option for mobility, just as a quick update.
Is the technology chargebacks done on any rhyme or reason, or is that just some months those are?
That is great, a great question. So part of the technology, really expensive piece this year was our contract renewed and our license fee. And so the rhyme or reason, not completely, but in large part has to do with the licensing pool, how big the board is, right? So some of our smaller programs won't be picking up the same type of volume percentage-wise as cosmetology and barber would. Yes. Not cheap to have technology. Yes, I agree with you. Any other questions, members? No. Okay, before we go into new order of business, I want to make sure that Joe also on the legal item updates on any of our rules, and then we have one new business that we want to go over.
Good morning, board members. Just an update on our rule package that we had the rulemaking hearing on April 7th for. Those rules have been filed with the Attorney General's office. They're now being reviewed for constitutionality. They were filed with the AG's office on July 1st. It's usually a long process, 6 to 8 weeks. I'm expecting to hear back from the Attorney General with the final ruling on our rules by August 18th. So by our next meeting, hopefully, those irons have been officially, or the rules have been officially approved, and we will be discussing the effective date towards the end of the year. But I'll keep you updated on that as we go.
And then under new order of business, we've got here a request. This is a request for some guidance from one of our licensees, Ms. Amy Yearwood. She is a licensed esthetician. You've got on your iPads emails with her, page 520, and I'll let Joe kind of drive this conversation. Ms. Lori ended up not being able to be here with us today, but obviously the specialty is aesthetics, so any information the boards want to discuss, the members, or questions, but if not and we don't get to a full resolution, we can also address it again in October. Thank you, Joe.
Good morning, board members. Just to kind of frame this issue, we received a question from a licensee basically asking, hey, I've become aware of this new device that allows you to perform various services on individuals. Does my license as a cosmetologist allow me to use this device within my practice? When it's a question very straightforward with rules and laws, and I can see a bright line answer, I go ahead and try to answer that directly for the licensee. This question, I'm going to describe the device that they're asking for you. Frankly, I am not up to date on all devices that are used in this industry, what is acceptable and what's not. I do know what the rules and laws say, but sometimes there's a lot more detail on what a device says it will do as opposed to how our rule applies or reads. So I would like to kind of give you a brief summary of the device that we received this question on, and then basically open the discussion to you all, and whether or not you think that the license would entitle the person to use that in practice, would it not? Or essentially, the board doesn't have enough information at this point in time to make a response. But quickly, the device is called an Abagon Pro. I hope I'm describing that correct. It is described as a 5-in-1 body sculpting and facial rejuvenation system designed to support clients in achieving their slimming, contouring, and skin firming goals. Equipped with 5 specialized handpieces, this is another difficulty with this device. It has 5 different attachments that allow it to perform essentially 5 different ranges of services. Unlike traditional devices that use a single technology, the Abagon Pro combines cavitation, endo-RF, which is radio frequency, and vacuum therapies in one session, enabling simultaneous fat breakdown and skin tightening. This integrated approach results in more effective, longer-lasting outcomes with fewer treatments compared to conventional methods. The device then describes what it can do for each area of the body. So the body itself, not including the face, combines the most proven and effective technologies, the ultrasonic cavitation, 30K to 40K, is designed to break down fat deposits, cellulite reduction, a unique vacuum endo-RF and infrared light for body sculpting and lymph reduction. Obviously, I know our rules and regulations limit the services that you can provide to the upper layer of the skin. So my sense is with the body and breaking down fat molecules, which are located below the top layer of the skin, that most likely would fall outside of the scope of licensure since we're only allowed to alter the dermis, which is the top layer of skin. There were a couple, I'm not going to read all of them, but there were a couple that I thought felt very close to our rules. So I'll go ahead and kind of jump in there, and that was for facials. So for facials, tripolar radiofrequency technology is designed to firm and rejuvenate the face with a targeted and precise approach. The treatment involves using a handpiece with 3 electrodes that deliver RF energy, radiofrequency energy, into the skin's deeper layers, heating collagen fibers for immediate contraction, stimulating fibroblasts for ongoing collagen and elastin protection. The procedure is comfortable with a warm sensation and requires little to no downtime, making it convenient for clients. It includes a smoother, firmer, and more youthful appearance, reducing sagging, fine lines, wrinkles, and delicate areas. Another one of the facials that they offer is bipolar radiofrequency technology. Uses 2 electrodes to deliver RF energy specifically to the dermal. So again, this one would be at the top layer of skin, the epidermal layer of facial skin, generating controlled heat between the electrodes. This heat causes collagen fibers to contract for an immediate tightening effect and stimulates natural collagen and elastin production over time, enhancing skin firmness and elasticity. The procedure is non-invasive and comfortable with a gentle, warm sensation and no downtime. So granted, I'm throwing a lot of information at you that you don't have in front of you, but just generally with the device, it essentially has longer attachments that can affect areas below the skin, but I kind of wanted to zoom in our focus on what you all would know as far as the facial aspect, and where it's not focusing on breaking down body fat, but essentially applying heat to the face, and whether or not we believe that the device uses technology that the board would permit.
I just Googled comparison between the Abigan Pro and the cavitation. And the only thing that seems different is that it says it's using a more holistic approach, and it uses the radiofrequency vacuum massage and infrared light. So if that's different from the cavitation, however you say that word, typically it says the cavitation, typically refers to a standalone device using ultrasound for fat reduction. So they both seem non-invasive, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's doing anything more invasive than the other, just using different technology.
What's the other one? You got high frequency, and then the other with the 2 electrodes it's on the tip of my tongue. Can't think of it. No. Just in facial treatment, the one that uses 2 electrodes. You got high frequency uses 1 electrode. Come on, my esthetician. I was looking past you. Oh, gotcha. But it seems to fall kind of in line with that service, but I don't know. I mean,
Well,
it's like Joe said. I mean, we're confined to just services that deal with the dermis. So when you get into dealing with adipose tissue, the fatty tissue, and all of that stuff, then I mean, I guess that will fall into something else.
yeah, and there are a lot of articles that are pointing these services more so to nurse practitioners and RNs, not under aesthetics. Although there are some that have not asked a question that are offering these services, but it's below the neck, it's full out body sculpting. Yeah, but they're these are falling more under the medical board than our board. Yeah.
Is there any indication that we do?
So,
Go ahead.
Members, one of you needs to turn on.
Is there any indication it would do any harm to a client?
Granted, the majority of the materials that I've read are materials that are explaining the services in an advertising complex. I've gone to the website. Obviously, a company is most likely not going to disclose any shortfalls of a new device, but I looked through it. With the limited research I've seen, I don't have enough to tell you whether or not someone has been injured by this device. I didn't see any of that information, but I was actually looking more at like the services and the actual instrument itself, as opposed to, anyone being injured on
That
this.
would be my primary concern, if it could potentially harm a client, or if it was, the old snake oil, that it actually did nothing, but resulted in some type of extra expense for a consumer. So, is it a valid product?
I really think that it does fall more under medical than what we do, because it may hurt some people, but it may not hurt someone else. Just to protect the public, we have to be concerned with that.
I will advise the board of another avenue. With this being as detailed as it is, there was, in the most recent legislative session, public opinions were created essentially through the department. And essentially a licensee within an industry can contact the department with a question of this exact nature, theoretically, for any of our industries. And then basically we, the legal department for the board or the program, would do research and basically journal a memo in response. And it would be a formal response essentially from the board and department. And there is a cost attached to this, and they have to file a document to get us to do the response. It's not as simple as you send in an email saying, hey, we answered this question for me. As your legal counsel, I am always going to be very conservative on you taking a stance unless we know the exact answer on the public record, because it can be used against us in a different fashion. And if we didn't have all the facts in front of us at the time that we issued that statement, then we could look bad and after the fact if we would have had everything in front of us at that time. I apologize, and my knowledge on this technology is not higher. Cavitation, I read that word for the first time about a month ago when we received this email. So with that said, I leave it up to you, but I wanted to make you aware of that public opinion process, because theoretically, Roxanna or I could go back to this individual and say, hey, we discussed this generally as a board, but if you want a specific answer to the exact question that you have asked, you would need to file this formal question, and then that would be entitled with more research and probably more protection for the board. So without saying what I would do, I highlight that last.
I think this is definitely going to need a lot more research before we're capable of deciding anything. I would be interested to know what the contraindications to this device is when we're talking about radio frequency. How high is the radio frequency? I mean, there are lots of contraindications to MRI technology. It's right. It's likely not to be even close to that scale, but we don't know. So I think that we definitely have to do more investigation before we would be capable of making any statement to say yes or no. So I think what you're proposing is a great idea.
yeah. I'm also continuing to read, and it's on AmericanMedSpa.org, excuse me. And it's just, again, pointing back to the PAs, like the physical assistants, the nurse practitioners, and RNs. And they're saying that they're all still required to go back for more training on this specific thing because of the legalities of the body sculpting. So, and this is the company, one of the companies that's selling it are saying the same thing, just to protect.
Now, I will say I have checked. You do not need a prescription or doctor's license to buy this item,
No,
right?
you don't.
Because then that would have taken it right off our table.
Yeah.
But essentially, yeah, she's right. This device is kind of a hybrid medical device where it's not high enough that it needs formal FDA approval, but essentially it's not low enough that essentially, anyone could buy it like ibuprofen. You have to buy it online from the manufacturer because it's not a widely produced item. And then it is used a lot hand in hand with medical context. So with that being said, we'd move forward and essentially advise them that we discussed it generally on the record. We do not have an answer for their question at this time, but if they would like to submit that formal advisory opinion from the board, that we would obviously follow through with our legal responsibilities in responding.
Thank you so much.
If we need a motion, I move that we defer a decision on this till we have more information.
I think it's a general discussion. I don't think a motion is necessary because we've just discussed. And I can always say, hey, they don't have to submit this formal opinion. I'm just giving that as another option so she doesn't feel like we just shut her down, without any other information.
You were talking about the cost, if you had to do that. When we get a public records request, and sometimes those can be in abundance. And I know that when we get one of those, the first hour is free, but after that, the person has to pay for it. So would that be the situation with you having to do something like that?
I think the pricing is calculated different. But again, this is a brand new law. With the advisory process, my understanding is that the pricing is made to sure that the department and the board does not eat that cost for that legal research. I don't think it's calculated by the hour, but let me double check before I make any statements. But yeah, that fee would essentially cover any overhead that the board would be out with research or time or anything like that with the staff.
That's a great question. Thank you, members, for the conversation and in this avenue. We've not done it before, but I think this is a good place to start it. I don't have anything else. I believe we've covered all board business. Unless the board has anything, let me know. Otherwise, we do have members still participating through Teams. We didn't have any schools this time. Maybe it's the beginning of a school year. They're all in their own campuses. So we've got no one here. Dana can let us know if anyone has a hand raised to go over anything that was discussed on the agenda, and then anything else the members have before we can entertain a motion to adjourn? No? There are no hands raised, so members, I turn it over to you.
I make the motion to adjourn.
I second.
We have a very quick motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you for everything you do, members. See you in October.
Much.